Season 1, Episode 7, on a mission safe house. Double Cross City Night. The safe house hums with a tense energy. Grand stands before a whiteboard, sketching a crude layout based on Luna's fragmented information about Detective James's warehouse. His brothers, Vic, Marcus, Jamal, Tyrone, Malik, Carlos, Juan, and Antonio, are a semicircle around him, their faces grim and determined. Weapons are checked, magazines loaded with a practiced efficiency. Grand, pointing to a roughly drawn rectangle. Luna says Nikki is being held somewhere in the main storage area. Minimal windows, reinforced steel doors. Vic, minimal windows means we go in hard and fast. No need for snipers. Marcus. What about security? Alarms, cameras? Grand. She mentioned cameras, mostly internal. Alarm system, likely sophisticated. We'll need someone who knows how to bypass that. All eyes turn to Antonio, their adopted brother, whose past included a stint in electronics and security systems. Antonio. I can handle the alarms and cameras, if Luna's intel is accurate, but I'll need a point of entry without triggering everything at once. Jamal. What about guards? How many are we expecting? Grand Luna wasn't specific, but James doesn't do anything halfway. Expect heavy security. We move as a unit. No one goes rogue. Nikki is the priority. A collective nod of agreement ripples through the room. The plan begins to solidify, each brother falling into a specific role. Vic will lead the initial breach, his raw aggression a key asset. Marcus and Tyrone will provide heavy fire support. Jamal and Malik will secure the perimeter. Carlos and Juan will move with Grand to locate Nikki. Antonio will handle the technical aspects. Meanwhile, back at the 8 to 9 towers, the atmosphere is no less charged. R.A. Honda paces, her frustration evident. Luna sits on the edge of the sofa watching her, a mixture of fear and calculation in her eyes. Peaches and Classy flank Honda, their expressions wary. R.A. Honda, stopping abruptly in front of Luna. They're going in. You know that, right? Grand doesn't wait. If you lied to us about that warehouse. Luna, her voice strained, I didn't lie. It's the truth. I want James gone just as much as you want Nikki back. Maybe more. Classy. Wanting and doing are two different things, girl. Your daddy is a dangerous man. Peaches. If this is a setup, Ra Honda cuts her off with a sharp gesture. Ray Honda. We need to be ready. If things go south at that warehouse, we might be their backup. She looks at Mitch and Chris, who have joined them from another room, their faces etched with concern for their friends. R.A. Honda, Con TD. Mitch, Chris, you're with me. Peaches, Classy, stay here, keep an eye on our guest. Make sure she doesn't try any disappearing acts. Luna's eyes flicker with resentment at being called a guest in such a manner. The warehouse looms in the darkness, a hulking silhouette against the city skyline. It's located in a desolate industrial area near the docks, just as Luna described. A chain-link fence surrounds the property, patrolled by armed guards. Security cameras are visible, their lenses glinting ominously. A black van, driven by Jamal, idles silently a block away. Inside, Grand and his brothers are masked and armed, their movements precise and coordinated. Grand, his voice a low growl. Antonio, you're up first. Disable those perimeter cameras. Vic, Marcus, Tyrone, you're with me on the breach. Antonio, equipped with a small electronic device, slips out of the van and moves stealthily toward the fence line, using the shadows as cover. The suspense is thick, every rustle of wind sounding like an alarm. Warehouse, main storage area, continuous inside the dimly lit warehouse. Rows upon rows of stacked crates create a maze-like environment. The air is damp and smells of dust and decay. Somewhere within this labyrinth, Nikki is being held. The silence is broken only by the occasional muffled sound from another part of the building. Warehouse, perimeter, continuous. Antonio works quickly and efficiently, his movements fluid and silent. One by one, the red lights of the security cameras blink off. He signals back to the van. Grand into his comm. Cameras are down. Let's move. The van doors slide open and Gran, Vic, Marcus, and Tyrone emerge, weapons raised. They move swiftly towards a less guarded section of the fence. Vic produces a pair of heavy-duty bolt cutters. The snip of the thick metal echoes in the stillness of the night, a prelude to the violence about to erupt. 8-9 Tower's living room. Nitra, Honda, Mitch, and Chris are dressed in tactical gear, weapons secured but within easy reach. They watch a silent feed from a burner phone. A grainy, shaky view from a camera Antonio managed to plant near the warehouse entrance. R.A. Honda, her voice tense. They're in. Let's hope Luna wasn't playing us. Luna watches the feed alongside them, her expression unreadable. Is she filled with anxiety for her own plan? Or is there a flicker of genuine concern for Nikki? Peaches and Classy watch Luna intently, their suspicion unwavering. Warehouse, main storage area, continuous. The sound of a breaching charge echoes through the warehouse as Gran and his team blast through a reinforced door. Guards caught off guard scramble for their weapons. The air fills with the deafening roar of gunfire. Vicky, yelling above the chaos. Nikki, where are you? The action is fast and brutal. Marcus and Tyrone lay down, suppressing fire, while Gran and Vic move deeper into the warehouse, their senses on high alert. The mission is underway, fraught with danger and uncertainty. The pieces of the puzzle are scattered, and the race to find Nikki has begun. Fade to black, to incorporate that crucial piece of information as Gran and Vic are breaching the warehouse. The sound of the breaching charge rips through the night. Gran and his team, Vic, Marcus, and Tyrone, surge through the mangled steel door, weapons blazing. Guards fall back, surprised by the ferocity of the assault. The cavernous space echoes with gunfire and shouts. Vix, yelling over the din, scanning the rows of crates. Nikki, where the hell are you? Gran, his eyes sharp and focused, moves with a grim determination. Suddenly, a flicker of recognition crosses his face as he takes in the layout. Gran, his voice urgent, grabbing Vic's arm, pulling him close amidst the chaos. Vic, this is the same damn warehouse. Vic stops, his weapon still trained on a downed guard, and looks around, his brow furrowed. Vic, what are you talking about, cuz? It's just another dirty lockup. Gran, no. Think back. The 80 million, the night we hit this place. Remember that far corner? The one with the reinforced door we couldn't crack? Vic's eyes widen in dawning realization. He remembers the intense heat of the moment, the adrenaline pumping as they cleared the main area, and that one stubborn, unyielding door. Vic. Yeah, I remember. We figured it was just extra storage. Grand, his voice tight with a sudden surge of hope and dread. Luna said James moved Nikki here after we hit it. What if that wasn't just extra storage? What if it was a secure room, a panic room, somewhere we wouldn't think to look? The realization hangs heavy between them, cutting through the adrenaline of the firefight. Nikki could be right under their noses, in a part of the warehouse they'd already been in, but never fully explored. Vic, his voice filled with a renewed urgency. Then that's where she is. James wouldn't put her in the open. That secure room, that's gotta be it. Grand, nodding grimly. Marcus, Tyrone, cover us. Vic and I are going to check the far corner, the reinforced door. Leaving Marcus and Tyrone to lay down suppressing fire, Grand and Vic push deeper into the warehouse, their focus now narrowed on that one forgotten corner, a potential secret holding the key to Nikki's rescue. The suspense ratchets up, the possibility of finding her so close fueling their desperate push through the ongoing firefight. The air in the building hung thick with the acrid smell of gunpowder and something else, something metallic and sickening that Grand's gut clenched against. Each muffled gunshot that had punctuated their desperate sprint through the unknown building now echoed in the sudden, terrifying silence of the back hallway. Vic moved with a grim determination, his hand never straying far from Grand's back, a silent reassurance in the face of the unseen danger ahead. They moved like shadows, pressing against the damp, peeling wallpaper, their breath catching in their throats with every creak of the floorboards. The sounds of their own movements seemed deafening in the stillness, amplifying the frantic thumping of Gran's heart against his ribs. He kept his focus narrowed, his eyes scanning every doorway, every shadow that stretched long and distorted in the dim light filtering from a shattered window down the hall. Then Vic stopped abruptly, his grip tightening on Gran's arm. He pointed towards the end of the hallway. A heavy reinforced door stood starkly against the decaying surroundings, its steel surface scarred and dented. Beside it, lying haphazardly amongst a pile of discarded tires, glinted a length of dark metal, a crowbar. A surge of adrenaline mixed with a sliver of hope shot through Gran. This had to be it. Nicky had to be behind that door. He snatched the crowbar, its weight familiar and strangely comforting in his trembling hand. Vic positioned himself beside him, his eyes locked on the door, a silent promise of support etched on his face. The metal of the crowbar scraped against the reinforced steel of the door, the sound echoing loudly in the tense silence. Gran grunted with effort, leveraging his weight against the stubborn barrier. Finally, with a groan of protesting metal, the door shuddered and then swung inward, revealing the room beyond. The scene that greeted them stole the air from their lungs. The small, windowless room was dimly lit by a single bare bulb, hanging precariously from the ceiling. And there, amidst the shadows, was Nicky. But she wasn't alone. Two other women lay still and lifeless on the cold concrete floor. Nicky was bound and gagged, her eyes wide with terror, but alive.